Yep.
If I was to date an IG model, me with some good common sense, I will live for the moment, but I would never try to propose to an IG model. It's not worth getting married because anytime you dating a girl that's publicly showing like her body parts, okay, to the world, and that woman is not really married to you. She's married to Instagram, the
She
people
married
who
to the
are watching.
game.
Exactly. And when she's married to the game, as Future will say, she belongs to the streets.
I don't need no one to save me. I was born to be the greatest. All that time in that basement, all that time isn't wasted. Rapping getting faded. I just wanna tell my mom that I made it. Just wanna be the topic of the conversation. Used to rock the gold plated. Now I'm wearing gold chains like I'm famous.
Do you think that in today's society that things when it becomes with gender roles are actually equal?
With gender roles, roles.
Gender
No.
roles, yes,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah, roles. No, not really. Like to be honest with you, it ain't nothing equal.
Right.
Um, which is it's funny because everybody want to preach about equality, but then it's like when you get kind of close to it, you don't really know fully like what equality is. It's that
Mm-hmm.
people's definition of equality is that as long as someone is serving them, then that's equality. And
I
then we have to
see.
give you reality, which actually hurts like your perception of equality. And then that's
Right.
where things could get kind of controversial because everybody have their own beliefs, but instead of just saying or agreeing to disagree, people want to choose to be right.
Mm. Right.
Yeah. So it's like how can I give this like an example? Like we'll start with the women real quick.
Sure.
Women want things in a certain type of way, which I believe like the only time equality should actually take place is when it comes to equal level of opportunity and high paying jobs. But if you're asking a man to be equated to you and you're not really willing to align with him, then how is that equality? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? You have to kind of be careful of what you guys are talking about because women will say they want equality, but would there be equality when it comes to splitting the check on a date? Would there be equality if actually ask the girl and say, "Hey, why don't you ask me out on a date? Why don't you pick me up in my car? I mean, well, pick me up with your car, and then we could go to this place or whatever." When we have those type of conversations, then it's like, well, that's not the woman's role. That's not my role. It is the man's role, okay, to approach, which I do agree. And it's the man's role to, if he's inviting that woman on a date, he should pay for the date, you know, just to be chivalrous, courtesy. But, you know, we get into these type of arguments that's not making sense and it's like a perpetual loop.
Mm.
So,
I see. I see. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I agree with everything except for like her picking me up. Like, nah, man. I like to be in the driver's seat. But I get
yeah.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
To this whole equality thing, it doesn't make sense when the roles are switched. You know, like a man cannot do a job that a woman that's good at. Sorry, a man cannot do something that a woman is good at, and a woman can do something what a man is good at. So when you have these two genders that's come together trying to remix and try to do something different, it doesn't work that way. You know, this is why,
Hmm.
like, when it comes to look, because I'm gonna just be honest, men are physically stronger than women, but women has a nurturing side. Okay, they're like suitable helpers, and that's why I always refer my wife and anyone else that participates as suitable helpers because they do have things to offer on the table mentally,
Hmm.
and support wise, But when it comes to like the front line, like you said, like the people, the soldiers out in the Ukraine, you know, they're not going to pick a bunch of women to fight off a bunch of men. They're going to pick men versus men. You know, men are capable of doing these things that women probably might not want to do, to be honest with you. And also, you know, like science and studies like show that you know, men has, you know, better like, you know, perception. They're a little bit more faster as well too. So their reaction time is a lot more quicker than a woman's reaction time to certain things.
Right. So you're okay. So what you're saying is you're basically breaking down the biology, correct?
Correct.
The thing is that there's no logical disconnect. Now, of course, there, you know, some women are going to say, well, some women can do some things that men can do. Yes, right. I mean, but here's the thing, right? So we're not talking about like what can or what may happen. We're talking about what on a day-to-day, you know, on a day-to-day basis, right? Like you take the best player in the WNBA, and she's probably not better. She's probably maybe put her in the NBA. She's probably like a D League player. Now that's no disrespect, but that's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have not seen a WNBA player that could do things like LeBron or KD or anything. You know what I mean? I have yet to see it. I have yet to see it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like, I mean, with a lot of training, like, you know, a woman could be just as skillful as a man, but it's just like, you know, if you have a pro male athlete versus another pro female athlete, most of the times the pro male athlete is going to dominate over that woman. See, that's the thing, right? And this is going to be a good point that I'm going to address, right? Because, you know, in this topic, as far as like society tries to pressure equality, again, there's no equality when it comes to us. Okay, we have pros, we have cons, just like the men, both men and women. The thing is, whenever like a group of women is demanding for equal pay, you have to kind of ask yourself the reality. Have you been overperforming? Have you been performing your best in your WNBA type of career? Okay. And if women really want that type of equality, then you're going to have to work together with your other fellow woman and have them come out there to support you. Okay. Don't expect the men to come out there and, you know, clean up whatever mess that you guys are in. Okay. If you have other women, okay, that's going over to the NBA, that actually speaks some truth into that. Because although everybody went against the feminism type of movement, but you have those same type of feminists supporting these guys. Of course, you know, for various reasons. You know, every woman will love like a tall guy. At least the majority of them. Okay. Especially like, you know, when it comes to sports, you're athletic, you're in shape, you're young. Yeah, a whole bunch of women is going to be there to throw themselves at them. They're not going to come over there to no WNBA, especially, I mean, for what? You know, so I think reality hasn't really hit them yet. And I think that's the issue. Because you have those mainstream medias that will always cater to you guys, which, you know, you ladies have an advantage over it because you guys are the highest consumers. So you guys could get away with these ridiculous demands, and these guys will support you and be like, "Yeah, you deserve equal pay, queen. You deserve the best that you know that we men have." But if anyone were to speak out and say, "Well, hey, I don't think you guys deserve equal pay because you know your ratings suck. Nobody doesn't really watch you guys like that," then they'll get canceled.
Right.
So
exactly. I completely agree with that. Okay, cool. Okay. All right. Let me get this.
We found out like even a drop dead gorgeous girl that's looks wise is way out of our league. If we know that she's promiscuous, major turn off. We, at least for me, I would not want to sleep with her.
Why?
Because body count matters.
Why?
Why does body count
Yeah.
matter? Well, there's a whole lot of reasons.
Okay.
I'll get to that. Did you want to come in really quick?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I have like a friend who's really, really hot, and she has a lot of boys. She's promiscuous. And I think every man who she's promiscuous with knows she's promiscuous.
Mhm.
How old is she?
19.
Well, here's the thing. Like, so me personally, I'm not interested in the one night stand. It doesn't interest me, even if it's an opportunity. Like, for example, Santa Barbara is a really touristy area. If I know a girl is just in town for the weekend and she might be down, and I've had this situation, I'm not interested. That doesn't interest me because, frankly, it's a waste of time for me. So, when it comes to casual sex, one night stands, short term things, buddies, guys are going to be more willing to tolerate a promiscuous girl because, well, easy access to sex. But for when it comes to having a relationship, when it comes to marriage, then it's much more part of the calculus, so to speak. It's much
Hold on.
more important.
Let me pause it right there. Okay. So what are your thoughts on that so far?
So again, like, these people, they still want men to accept them for who they are. And I know we haven't got further ahead into this video, but so I'll try to keep on the topic. I mean, not a lot of men want a promiscuous woman. I mean, like, they don't mind sleeping with them, but when it comes to like a serious relationship, it's like once we know like how many bodies that's been up in a woman,
Right.
We're done. Well, I mean, look, I'll be like number one, like 105, and I'm just being generous. Okay.
Yeah, right.
But
You said that's being generous, yeah.
But after that, I'm like, don't expect for me to want to put a ring in your finger. And I think it kind of makes sense to like why some of these women probably got into these long-term broken promised relationships, whereas like you waiting for like 5 years, some waiting for 10 years or 15 years just for a man to propose. And it's like that man has always been kind of hesitant, like, oh, what's the rush? Like, why are we in a hurry? I don't want to get married, type of thing. Maybe he knows something about your past. Maybe you said something that turned him off, or maybe he knows something about you. See, here's the thing: when men do get into these type of, I don't even call it true relationships. I think that's where we call it situationships.
Yep.
If I was to date an IG model, me with some good common sense, I will live for the moment, but I would never try to propose to an IG model. It's not worth getting married because anytime you dating a girl that's publicly showing like her body parts, okay, to the world, and that woman is not really married to you. She's married to Instagram.
She's married to the game.
Exactly. And when she's married to the game, as Future will say, she belongs to the streets.